And we're starting off first with LJ Cleary and Andy Steele. You know, you do forget, but whenever you see a tag team or a faction on top for long enough, I was just going to say that you do forget about how much talent the individual members of those teams and factions possess. If you look at any wrestling promotion on the planet, I would argue that the most underrated wrestlers are usually the ones who find themselves in top tag teams and top factions, because their singles abilities are usually overlooked. But that being said, Andy Steele is still quite unproven in Fight Factory as a singles wrestler. I don't really recall any major singles victories he's had. So to go from not having any major singles victories in Fight Factory to a victory over, you know, a man who at one point was the longest reigning Irish Junior Heavyweight Champion, at one point the youngest Irish Junior Heavyweight Champion. These records, by the way, were only broken by the other member of the Fresh Life, Fabio. So quite an ask for Andy Steele. But Andy Steele is starting well. He has wrist control to begin with. The fans chanting at the Sabres of Destiny, "Where's your titles gone?" It's really bizarre. I mean, we saw the Sabres of Destiny when they suffered that shock defeat to JB and Party Boy, and they just snapped afterwards. They just turned into completely different people, completely different wrestlers. They were fully concentrated, fully focused, and it looked like they were unstoppable. It looked like we were never going to see either of these members of the Sabres lose ever again, because they were just operating on a whole different level. In come Fabio and LJ Cleary, and all of a sudden they lose the belts. Not just lose it in a regular, you know, after 15-20 minutes of going to war. It was seconds. It was literally just a few seconds and the belts were gone. So it's a bizarre time for the Sabres of Destiny. A very bizarre time, but you know, you can't rule them out, especially with, you know, with what we've seen earlier with Anita Vaughn. It could be the Saviour's night, but we are going to have to wait and see. Andy Steele going for that spinning head kick, but LJ Cleary showcasing his speed and agility. Again, the fight IQ of LJ Cleary. This is going to be such an uphill battle for Andy Steele. I don't need to list off LJ Cleary's singles accolades, not just in wrestling generally, but even specifically in Fight Factory Pro Wrestling. Beating the likes of Martin Kirby, Karen Noir, and just the best that Fight Factory has to offer. It's a big ask for Andy Steele, but right now LJ Cleary in full control. Andy Steele moves out of the way, and Andy Steele catching LJ Cleary on the head as he hung in the corner. And LJ taking a minute to catch a breather, but Andy Steele not giving him that opportunity. Andy Steele dropping LJ Cleary onto the hardest part of the ring, and you can see LJ Cleary throwing a slap to the back of Andy Steele. It was all he could muster. I mean, when you get slammed onto the, you know, the hardest part of the ring, it's very, very difficult to throw anything at your opponent in that time. But I mean, it's not the wisest move to be taunting the fans when you're against someone like LJ Cleary. Andy Steele's going to learn that as this match progresses. You give LJ Cleary even a split second to attack and he will take it. He is the best wrestler we have when it comes to taking advantage of opportunities as they present themselves, or even when they don't present themselves. He creates opportunities where there are none, and that's why LJ Cleary has the wrestling CV that he has, as he gets launched back first into that corner. What interests me about this fight is basically how these teams were paired against each other. We're getting Fabio versus Owen Richards and LJ Cleary versus Andy Steele. And Fabio versus Owen Richards, that's going to be a fight where, you know, Fabio has his own style, Owen Richards has his own style. They're both very, very different wrestlers. In this, I do notice a lot of similarities between LJ Cleary and Andy Steele. And it makes you wonder how different Andy Steele's career would be if he didn't go down the Saviors route. It did, of course, improve him mentally to be paired with Owen Richards. It did give him his first taste of gold as part of the tag team, but would he be further along as a singles wrestler had he just ignored Owen Richards and gone on his own journey? And Andy Steele is looking surprisingly comfortable in there. You see him talking to LJ Cleary, getting in his head. He's starting to really take control of this one. And he's going to need to. It's a lot of pressure on Andy Steele. Ultimately, if LJ Cleary loses, they have a second chance. If LJ Cleary loses and Fabio beats Owen Richards, then the Saviors are back to square one, and the Fresh Life can defend their titles against pretty much anyone else. But the Saviors of Destiny need this. They need this tag title opportunity. In order to get this tag title opportunity, they're going to have to go through LJ Cleary and Fabio. And that means that Andy Steele has to get it done, or otherwise that's it. So it's a lot of pressure. LJ Cleary off the middle rope. They did both clash heads. Very interesting to see who recovers from this one first. Of course, if this goes to a double count out, if this goes to a draw, that is not enough. Andy Steele does have to get a victory over LJ Cleary, but it's not going to end in double count out regardless. Both men back to their feet. At the same time as well, Andy Steele's kicks are being caught. LJ Cleary's doing a very good job of scouting those kicks. That's what I'm saying. He's got a very a high fight IQ and very quick as well, as we can see. LJ Cleary with a flying forearm into the corner to the head of Andy Steele. Andy Steele throwing LJ back onto the apron. And LJ off the middle rope, stomping on the back of Andy Steele. Bearing in mind, LJ Cleary is probably still feeling the effects of the slam he took onto the ring apron just a few minutes ago. So you pulling all that out is very impressive on his part. LJ seems to have his wits about him. It looks for a little while like Andy Steele may have been wearing them out, but this is very good work from Andy Steele actually. This is great ring awareness to crawl back into that corner and use the ropes to his advantage. Oh, but LJ Cleary, I mean, this is what I mean about the similarities between Andy Steele and LJ Cleary. This is usually what we see Andy Steele doing to his opponents, but LJ Cleary with some of the best kicks in Irish wrestling that you're going to see. And Andy Steele showing what he can do in fairness while on the receiving end of the barrage of kicks, still managing to land a head kick of his own to take both of these men out. And you hear chants of Irish wrestling. Again, you do forget what Andy Steele is capable of as a singles wrestler. Usually this is the point in the match where, you know, he'd go and tag in Owen Richards. Jesus, that chop. Just sending Andy Steele right to his back. But this is really the test for somebody who's, you know, who does primarily tag team wrestling is when you have to dig deep and there's no tagging in your opponent. There's no high energy waiting for you at the ring apron. You just have to go and do it all by yourself, and that is incredible from Andy Steele. That is just brilliant from Andy Steele, and that could be it. I thought that was going to be it. And what's very interesting about the move that Andy Steele pulled off there is that, of course, this is something I haven't mentioned yet, is the changing of the movesets. There is no call to action here. It's not possible for the Saviors to hit a call to action in either of these matches. That's usually how to put away all the teams they face and all of their opponents. So Andy Steele's going to have to think outside the box, and that's not to say that Andy Steele wouldn't be approaching this with any sort of strategy. Of course he would. But having a strategy and implementing that strategy are two different things. But to be fair, Andy Steele has been very impressive thus far. He's held his own. He's had an answer for everything that LJ has thrown at him. But now it's just a case of, can he dig deep and keep up with LJ Cleary? Can he, in singles competition, keep up with the man who could be described really as the second greatest Irish junior heavyweight champion of all time? Oh, Andy Steele, very smart, using his feet to get LJ Cleary out of the ring, but LJ from the apron lands a head kick of his own. And Andy Steele jumping straight up to the top turnbuckle to catch LJ Cleary before LJ could make any attack of his own. But it's very slippery up on those ropes. It's one of those things. It can really go either way for any opponent. LJ Cleary off the middle rope, catching Andy Steele, but Andy Steele counters that into a pin of his own. He gets it, and he gets it. What a result! What a result from Andy Steele. That is, for Andy Steele to be able to adapt from falling unexpectedly off the top turnbuckle to getting pinned, to turning that pinfall attempt into a pinfall attempt of your own against arguably the greatest technical Irish wrestler there is, and I feel like it's a bit harsh to say